Instead you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick. Today, I have a unique opportunity. I have one of my PCAs. Ben with me. He's been on the show before. It's been a long time, but today what I want to do is talk about the realities from a perspective, two perspectives, a perspective from an individual and then a perspective from a staff point of view, and see what they're, see how similar the two can be, and maintaining non-clinical or maintaining non-clinical non-clinical aspects of life. Good afternoon, Ben.
Good afternoon, Brian.
How long have you and I been working together?
It's hard to say exactly. Probably like 5 years.
5 years? You put up with me for 5 years?
If you count friendship, I've put up with you for a lot longer than that.
We've known each other for like
25
years. So, give us a little bit of background again for people that you got into this business basically because your mother and your family was in the healthcare business.
That's right.
And she's still at 75 years old, she's still in the business.
That's right. Mom works 51 hours a week.
Yeah.
As doing the same type of work as I do now.
Yeah.
She was a nurse for a long time.
Yeah.
And Dad was an EMT, so I kind of just grew up in it.
Fell into this big pile of it.
Almost literally.
But the realities of what I want to talk about today is the realities between what everybody wants you and I to do as far as the stake wants versus what you try to do as a reality for the individual. For any individual you work with, people may think you only work for me, but you work for several other people.
Yep.
And one of the things I like is, not to say anything, is wrong with the way anybody else does things, but you maintain my dignity and my respect, but you also know what you need to do, so I don't have to go chasing after you or come up with stuff for you to do, and then you'll do it. You know what you gotta do on a daily basis, so you just do it, and then you ask me what I need and what are the needs, and then I tell you, and we do 'em, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a case of, okay, I'm in the corner somewhere, if you need me, tell me, I may come out of the corner, you know, and do what you need me to do. It's, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, you always say this to me, if you don't need me, I'm not gonna be here, you know? I mean, not that you won't be here, but I mean, you're not gonna sit around and do nothing all day.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. I'm here when you need me, and I'm not when you don't.
And that's the part where, that's the part where life without limits or independent living, everybody has limits. Everybody has, everybody has limits. So saying that life without limits, that's not actually an accurate statement. I like to look at it as realistic limits instead of the state limits. You know, the one thing that I go by all the time is going out in the community is a limit for the PCAs as far as the state's concerned. But as far as that goes, well, obviously I need more help out in the community than I do in my own house.
Right.
So that doesn't make any sense as far as I'm concerned, you know. They tell you to be independent and make decisions and do what you want to do, but then they put limits on you. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do? You know? And I know you deal with a lot of the same frustrations on your side too for me, because when I'm down with staff, they're always arguing with you about don't work too much. If I don't, who's going to?
That's right.
That's what you say all the time. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
if you don't want me to work, somebody else has to. You know?
That's right.
And most people say, that ain't my job.
Well, it needs to be somebody's job.
As you say, it ain't my job. Ain't my job, man. Ain't my job. So, the thing that you're more, you and I push the envelope a lot. We know that, but I mean, the thing I like about you is you're more realistic. You don't treat my house as an agency house. I mean, because technically it isn't. You know, the agency only assists, not, they don't set the guidelines of, you know.
Right. Previous employer used to tell people this all the time, and I don't know if they still do or not, but they said they're not living in your workplace, you're working in their house.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the problems that I see all the time. Every PCA that I've ever had comes in and thinks they're in charge of what goes on in the house, and that's not actually true. That's far from the truth, as far as that goes.
I've been witness to a lot of that.
Yeah. You may suggest, hey, Brian, we should do this or we should do that. But at the same time, the way you say you should do this, you should do that, is also, it feels like it's institutionalized living, and that's
Right.
not the case. We were talking a little bit before the show about going as far as making coffee with thicket. Would you like to drink thicket? I mean, no, nobody would.
I don't think that I would like to try it. I've never tried it. I don't know if it tastes like anything.
No, but I mean, it's, you know, I mean, unless you're willing to actually be in somebody else's shoes, you shouldn't try to dictate to them what they're doing.
Right.
You know? And one of the things that and yes, I do get frustrated with people, and I do get frustrated with you at times, but knowing everything that I go through with some people and how I have to jump through hoops, I question the people that question me about it. They say, why do you get so upset? It's like, well, I say to myself, why do I get so upset? Why? I say, why not? I mean, I mean, how severely I get upset is one thing, but being upset about something is normal. Not everybody some people just want me to be okay. Yeah, this is okay. This is acceptable. This is not. This is okay. This is the way I'm gonna live for the rest of my life. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But the attitude you have is like, it's your house. You can do what you want.
Yep. As an adult person with adult feelings and adult responsibilities, you deserve to be treated as an adult. If your name is on the lease,
Yeah.
so it should be treated like your home.
Yeah. I know there's things sometimes you disagree with, but there's only so much you can do about it. And even, it's like, yeah.
Well, on more than one occasion, I've been accused of being a yes man with you, and I don't feel personally that that's true, because I know that if I disagree with you, then I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to do it respectfully.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to cause an argument.
Yeah. 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 I mean, obviously anybody gets frustrated about anything, but it's like, you know, I think that people gotta realize, and I think you do too, any frustration that I have or anybody in my particular situation is magnified 20 times over at least with everything that I've got to deal with. You know, I've got to deal with people not coming to work, people giving me attitude when they do, or, you know.
Yeah.
What do I do in this circumstance? It's like, you're a caregiver. You know, if you don't care about the people you work with, you shouldn't be in this business. You know?
Right. The first part of the word caregiver is care,
Yeah.
which means that you need to care.
And if you're in it for the money, then this obviously isn't the job for you. You know?
Right.
Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday. No.
They all run in together.
Oh, yeah. But I got the call at 9 o'clock, 9:17 in the morning. And you're like, let me see what I can do. You know,
Yep.
willing to stop, you know, whenever you can, but, you know.
Change some things around. Sometimes I can't do that, but if I can,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
And then I'll do things like I'll do things like I did on Christmas to show you and to get together with your family, because we are a family and we do, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that, but, you know, in order to have good employees, you gotta be able to, people say, I can understand why people say this, but people say to me all the time, you can't be friends with your employees. In this field, you can't, I can't listen to that, because it's like, you know, if you're not friends with them in some kind of level,
Right.
you know, then where's the trust?
Right.
You know, where's the, you know. Now granted, there's certain levels of situations, like I won't do stuff with certain PCAs that I will do with others. But that's not favoritism. That's just everybody does that.
Right.
They won't do things with certain people, and, you know.
I've seen it happen before, where somebody is friends with someone, and they have them come on and work as a caregiver, as a PCA, and then that person just doesn't work out, and then the person that hired them doesn't want to let them go, because they think it'll ruin the friendship or whatever. Before you hire a friend as a PCA, you have to think about is this person a caregiver, or are they my friend and I'm just trying to give them a job, or I'm trying to have them closer and spend more time with them. Those are things you have to think about.
Like, you know, if I ever do have to let you go and if I ever do have to let you go, you have to move on.
Right.
We'll always be friends no matter what.
That's right.
We can separate this,
Right.
we can separate the two, but,
It was a very fortunate happenstance that you and I are friends, and I also happen to be a caregiver.
Yeah.
That was, but that, in some circumstances,
that don't work.
that doesn't work out.
In some circumstances, like we wanted to do this all the time, like we were just talking a while ago, but we wanted to do this all the time where people accuse you and I of ganging up on other people and saying how things aren't being done right, and you can do better. It's not the case. What we're saying is, we're friends. You understand what's going on. You can see both sides, and
Right.
you can understand me. You've had people with me on the phone that say they can't understand me and stuff like that. You have trouble understanding me on the phone. But a lot of times I think it's just the people that want to take the time and listen. And
I think when you're agitated too,
yeah,
you get more difficult to understand.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when you have to make phone calls, it's because of something that
Yeah.
you're frustrated about.
yeah. Or nobody's giving me information or
Right.
whatever. It's gonna.
But you're right. If people do take the time to listen and concentrate on what you're saying,
Yeah.
even if you are agitated, they'll be able to understand you.
Yeah. And if you don't, I can make it very clear in other ways.
Oh dear.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna go too far into that, but what people don't realize is we're people too. And we have rights and we have feelings and,
Yeah.
and staff do have rights. Staff need to feel safe in their environment and stuff like that. But clients need to be treated as respectfully as they can.
Right.
It's a delicate balance between making sure staff are comfortable, because not every job is going to be peaches and cream and,
No?
with sugar on top. I mean, it's not going to be always the best way to go, but it's going to be a case of dealing with, you got to deal with people where they are. And, like when I tell agencies in general that I'm about to do something, you're on your own with that one. We don't want to get involved because we may look like we're bad situation. We may look like we're, supporting this
Yeah.
or whatever. What's wrong with you supporting a person that's in a wheelchair being independent?
Right.
That's all the question that's all that we're trying to get them to do is look into this, treat people like they need to be treated.
Exactly.
Like, I have never gotten I have never gotten a complaint from people like Ricardo that I'm calling him too much for doing something on the street or something like that. Because he sees me as just like a regular person, you know? He doesn't see me as a person, you know? He sees me as a person in a wheelchair, but he sees me as a person that lives in Pittsfield and has, you know,
Yeah.
needs stuff to be done a certain way, and, you know,
Yeah.
he tries to accommodate. And basically, you do the same thing. Yeah.
I think what needs to happen, and you kind of hit the nail on the head there, but I'm gonna word it a little bit differently. Is people need to see the person before they see the wheelchair. What happens is a lot of the time people see the wheelchair before they see the person, and so the only thing that registers is the wheelchair.
Yeah. And they don't look at the intelligence level of the. They don't look at the intelligence level of the individual. They just see the wheelchair and, you know.
Right.
Agencies try, but they do the same thing.
Yeah.
At times. Granted, I know agencies have a lot to do and a lot of services to give out to people, but having a personality and having the right approach to how you interact with people is what you really need to worry about, because the clients can't function the way they want to. And in the state of Massachusetts, especially this end, there isn't too many services out here. I mean, there are services out here, don't get me wrong, but there isn't too many choices. So if you try to, if a person feels like they're being, you know, shut down or something,
Right.
then they're gonna try to go somewhere else. And
Yeah.
then they're gonna wind up moving, you know. I've had friends that have left the area and gone to Florida, had to come back because there's no services down there.
Right.
Because, you know, but they feel like they had to leave because they weren't being treated in the way they should be. So it's
Right.
like, you know, so it's a whole system thing. Like you and I have talked about several times, there's no way that I could live in a house with 5 other people. I mean, there's no way I could do it. I need to be independent. I need to be free to do what I need to want to do, let alone, you know.
Right.
It's all about choices. And caregivers out there, you need to just listen to people, listen to what they want. Yes, you need to follow the rules of the state to a point, but you need to have discernment. You need to have understanding of what the rules are and which ones you can kind of, you know, go on your own and see what you can come up with. Because I know people that have one PCA that they will only work with certain people. And it's because of that one particular person that they're doing so well. And because the PCA is doing what the client wants to do, the agency's about to pull them away from them, and it's like, why are you taking away something that, you know, is working for somebody, you know?
Right.
Leave them alone. When people are gonna leave on their own, people are gonna have to move on, of course, but you try to keep them as comfortable and as happy as they can be. And if that means taking them out for ice cream or taking them out to Walmart or somewhere like that, I mean, you know, making them feel like human beings.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. Yeah.
Yeah. Making human beings feel like human beings. That's
Too many hours? Too many hours, man.
too many hours. Oh,
Yeah.
the yawning?
Yeah.
Probably. Probably.
Yeah.
Don't say that too loud, though.
No, no. That's a Stanley joke, God. No, not as far as the agencies are concerned, but yeah, it's like, you know, people don't realize. And in general, the comment that I got one time is, are you safe if you have somebody come over?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, because I don't really know these people, because I can't get together with them, because you don't want me to. You know, it's like, what, you know, kind of situation is, you know.
Yeah.
Making decisions on whether I need to go to the hospital or something, that's a complex situation in itself too, because yes, I can understand if I'm bleeding or got something wrong with me, but, you know, basically, you know, if I'm awake and oriented, that's my decision. You know. You may advise, but yeah.
Right.
I mean, granted, you know, I made some stupid mistakes, but we all have. And we gotta have room to be able to make those mistakes. So basically what I'm saying, people, is when you have clients and you have caregivers and you have family and staff, and this is depending on the pay structure and everything, but regardless of who people say the boss is, in reality, the boss is the client, because you're working for the client, not during the hours that you're with the client, you're working with the client. Most of the time, the agencies are not within the house, so what does the agency got to do with anything that goes on in the house? You know, other than safety. Now, if the roof is falling down on somebody's head, you know, I mean, you know, unless I can't handle it, then the agencies can step in, but, you know.
Right.
Basically, people like me have too many bosses, sometimes out of concern, but it's still too many bosses, too many chiefs, not enough opinions as far as that goes, because they all have good intentions, but, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes people just want to throw in their 2 cents, but then say, after they throw in their 2 cents, it's your choice. But if you do it this way, we're not gonna support you. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, if you tell me that way, you know, we're not gonna have much, you know. You're not supporting if you're making a decision for me. You're running my life, you know, as far as that goes. But what is some of your, in general now, what is some of your biggest frustrations about what you've seen as far as the combination of agencies and home? And how do you basically, I know how you told me, but how do you, as a caregiver, how do you separate the two between what the agency tells you and what the client tells you?
It's actually really simple. You're my boss. Plain and simple. What you say goes. As long as there aren't safety concerns. You know, as far as I can tell, there haven't been any. You know, each individual person, and here's another way to separate it. I don't like to talk about it as a job, but it is a job, and there is a paycheck that comes with it. Each individual person that I care for, I get a separate paycheck for each one. Even though the paychecks are coming from the same place, I get a separate paycheck for each one. And each paycheck has that person's name on it.
So you're actually working for them, you're not working for the agency.
Right.
They're just overseeing what.
Right. The agency oversees.
Yeah.
Which means that they can intervene if there's a safety concern.
And then we got most of the time when I ask for intervention, I mean, in some cases with agencies, most of them say, it's not my job, we're not paid to do that. It's like, get your staff to do it. It's like, if I need help to the point where I'm asking you to step in,
right?
Don't you think I've asked you? You know?
And I have seen that with more than one agency too, with more than one client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm coming to you for help because I've exhausted all possibilities. You know?
Right.
And then I get situations like, why did you call the fire department? Well, were you gonna come over and help me? You know, like, you know. Then again, in other situations, sometimes it's easier to explain situations to them and have them understand what the situation is versus explaining it to a non-mechanical person, you know. Not to make you feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad at all. You know, if I don't have the right tools or if I don't have the right skills, we need to call somebody in that has the right tools or the right skill set to take care of whatever the issue is.
And also, when what I have to consider is not only you're there for my personal care, you're not there to fix the chair, but at the same time, if you leave in this situation and if you weren't there, you know, it would be an emergency situation because I couldn't move,
Right.
you know. It's like, man,
It's just like if I was unable to walk,
yeah,
who would I call?
yeah. Now you can't call your dad anymore, but you used to be able to call your dad. But I mean, as an EMT, I mean, that's what I was saying.
Right.
As an EMT, you could just,
Right.
yeah. He did.
Well, if I was unable to walk and I called my father, he would say I'm on my way, but he would also recommend that I call someone
ambulance.
to assist me.
No, but when he was an EMT,
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm referring to. But yeah, I know this is a basic show today, and we're just having basic conversations, but I wanted to show that it doesn't have to be so clinical, it doesn't have to be so, you know, rigid. And a lot of times people, agencies love to say, well, we need this paperwork for this reason. And then I go to the people that requested the paperwork and say, we don't need the paperwork. Why are we
filling
doing
it out?
Why are we doing it? Why are we even considering the conversation? You know, if I wasn't able to communicate, then it would be a different situation. But you know,
Right.
and like we said, all I'm saying is people need to meet people where they are and treat everybody like they need to be treated, and you know,
Basically, just be respectful.
and don't look at me, don't look at anybody. Wheelchair first. Look at the person in the wheelchair. Don't look at just the wheelchair. And you know, and if you're gonna come into my house anyway, and just consider the paycheck, you might as well just, you know, keep walking out the door, because it's not, you know, it's not about the paycheck. It is about the paycheck, don't get me wrong, but the paycheck will come, but the caring's gotta come first.
Right.
And that's another thing. I can't control the pay rate. So if you say to me, I'm not getting paid enough, then there's nothing I can do about it. I understand that people gotta do what they gotta do, but I mean, you know, the nature of the beast is the healthcare field in general doesn't pay what it should be paid.
Right.
Even with the union,
Yeah.
the pay isn't where it should be. And people can say a union is the greatest thing in the world. Yeah, if you know about it and if you want to be involved in it, don't make it so that it comes out of your paycheck and most people don't have a decision on what whether they're in the union or not in this field, you know.
Right.
Because it comes out of dues, and you're like, where did this money go? Oh, that's for union. I don't want to be a part of the union. Well, too bad. You know. It's all, people say it's all about the almighty dollar. It is, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's all people really care about as far as people in the offices and stuff. They don't look at the people and they don't look at the people in the situations, you know. But they do look at it, but it's usually after the fact, and take something very, very catastrophic to get them to look at it as a, you know, as something. Now, what I'm saying catastrophic is meaning me having to finally sit down and say, look, listen to me, and, you know,
Yeah.
do what I'm asking you to do. I've been around this road a few times. Let me do what I got, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, people have called me and said, are you covered? It's like, yeah. How did you do it? It doesn't matter how I did it, as long as it's covered. You
Right.
know? It's like, that's working too much. Then you guys figure out another way to do it. But I will not go into a nursing home because that's even worse.
Yeah.
You know? 45 minutes to get changed. And so that's unacceptable. And it will not be. It is nobody's wish. Even the people in the nursing home.
Right. Well, you know, staffing in nursing homes is notoriously horrendous.
As you know full well.
And until it changes, less and less people are going to want to go into those nursing homes.
Yeah.
And I know there's certain people who may want you to go into a nursing home, but the staffing issue is going to be the same in the nursing home. You're just going to be contained where they want you to be.
Yeah. Am I gonna be happy? No way.
No.
And there's no. If you're gonna be unhappy and you're gonna be, if you're gonna be unhappy, you might as well give it all up and, you know, just don't try to. If you don't have a life to live, you know, if you can't live your life the way you want to, you know, then what is it, what quality of life are you trying to live if the quality of life is gone? You know?
Right.
And that's one of the things that I learned very quickly when my mother died. It's like, how much more can we do? Not much. So we had to make the decision on whether to just let her go. Because we knew she could have lived a little bit longer, but it's like, you know, what's the quality of life? You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the decision you gotta make is what,
Yep.
how far can you go? You know?
Yep.
And we've talked about, in general, clients who family members that are taking care of multiple mentally and physically challenged people, and it's like, what's gonna happen to them after they're gone? Most of them are gonna wind up in the nursing home.
Right.
Most of the time, but at least they've got some quality of life while they're still,
Right.
So basically, as a consumer, and to everybody listening, the basic thing is do the best you can. Understand the reason why you're doing it, and you gotta weed out. You gotta fish out the bull crap that the agency's giving you. Brian's gonna, for example, Brian's gonna ask you to do this. Don't do it. Well, Brian's gonna ask you to do this, and Brian's gonna give you all these reasons to do it. Not Brian's gonna give you all these reasons to do it. We're telling you not to do it. It's like, find out what the reasons are that they're telling you
Right.
not to do it. And if they don't make sense, just do it anyway. I mean,
I want to touch on something. One of the things that a specific agency says is that our job as PCAs is physical care only. That is a very broad and very very difficult to interpret phrase. My view as a caregiver, physical care can amount to anything that assists you in living the best quality of life that you can live. I know other people think that physical care is feeding and changing and that's it, but it's not. It's much more than that.
and what I'm trying to get people to do is not consider that an opinion. Consider that the basics of the job, because so many people look at this job as paper only and say, if it's not on the paper, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna, have a situation where,
As a caregiver, you need to think about this. You personally want to live your life to the best quality as possible. Here's a person that you're assisting, that you're giving care to, who also wants to live their life to the best quality that they can live it. And your job is to help them do that.
yeah. And with certain circumstances, and sometimes if that means the staff has to feel a little uncomfortable about going on the community and stuff like that, then that's what should be done. I mean, unless they've got good reason or unless they've got medical reasons or something like that, then, the excuse of I don't want to go or I don't want to do this, shouldn't be a factor.
Right.
You may not want to go shopping, but if I want to go shopping and you're there to,
Right.
assist me in a way that, to make me any quality of life with guidelines, of course, but I mean, you know,
Right.
don't shut a client down just because you don't want to do something. You know,
Right.
it's not about you. It's about the individual. And what I want people to do is think about what we talked about today, and think about ways in both from a caregiver's point of view and both, and also from a client's point of view is see how close we are to your circumstance, and let me know if you feel there's gotta be. I know there's one person that feels like I do, and you happen to work with them. But there's gotta be more people out there that feel the same way I do.
Sure.
And they may not be able to express themselves in such a way, but if I can help her using this show that we did today and use it as an educational tool, let me know in any way I can help. I will, and you can do that by getting hold of me at Wheeling the Pathway of Life at gmail.com. That's Wheeling the Pathway of Life. Wheeling the Pathway of Life at gmail.com. And I can take that information and discuss your situation and possibly have you on the show. And we'll do more of these with caregivers. Not all the time, because again, people are told differently from agencies where they're told, don't come on the show because you may say something that we don't agree with, so that you can't, you will be defying us if you go on the show. But his business is, I don't work for you, I work for Brian, so I'm not saying to break the law, but I'm saying use your own judgment as far as whether you want to or not. But I'd love to hear a perspective from a caregiver and a client point of view in other cases. Ben, it's really been great not only working with you on a daily basis, so much that you understand me, and I feel like I understand you, and we can work well together, but I appreciate you being willing to stick your neck out there and come on the show and explain some of this. And
I'm glad to do it, Brian.
I'm sure you'll be back again, I'm sure, but if everybody's not gonna like what everybody says, but we all have the right to say what we want to say. And the disabled community has the right to. So with that, I thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Ben, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see you next week. And next week we're going to have Ricardo Morales, I'm the director of the Highway Department I'm talking about sidewalks and anything about street and snow removal that we can and other things. So with that, folks, we will see you next week. Thank you.
Can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the spirits move, and His will be done. You can bury the workman, but the work will go on.